Savezni agenti FBI-a su u ponedjeljak upali na 2 posjeda glazbenika Diddya Komsa, takozvanog P. Diddyja, vezano za istragu trgovine ljudima u svrhu intimnih eksploatacija, kako pišu američki mediji. Sad, za one koje ne znaju, ovo vam je jedan od poznatijih, najjačih, najmoćnijih menadžera u svijetu glazbe i te glazbene industrije, koja je puna tih satanističkih i jako čudnih simbola. I ovaj čovjek zapravo to uopće ne skriva. Kad dođe na pozornicu, recimo ovako je bio obučen na dodjeli tih MTV Awardsa, uvijek se prikazuje kao nekakav, ne znam, hoću reći kao nekakav polubog, bar meni to tako izgleda. Međutim, šta se dešava s njim već godinama se priča, izlaze sve više svjedoci van sa izjavama da ih je iskorištavao na ovakav ili na onakav način, a zapravo se navodno zna da u toj cijeloj glazbenoj industriji da bi uspio da moraš potpisati navodno, jel tako, onaj ugovor sa đavolom. Pa ako je netko đava u toj industriji, to vam je upravo ovaj čovjek koji, blago rečeno, je satana. Jer navodno sve više tih, kažem, glazbenika izlazi sa time da su morali kao protuuslugu njemu, hajmo samo tako reći, izvojiti nekakve radnje da bi dobili ugovor sa, ne znam, sa njegovom producentskom kućom ili sa nekakvim drugim kućama, a među tim glazbenicima su jedni od najpoznatijih glazbenika poput, ne znam, ako ste čuli ikad za Justina Biebera i takve neke sve glazbenika koje slušaju mladi. Kažem, opet pričamo o tome da svi ti zapravo mladi glazbenici, sve te društvene mreže su pune tih mladih ljudi koji su danas najveći uzor, ono što je najužasnije od svega tim današnjoj djeci, tim mladim ljudima, a upravo su to ljudi koji su ucijenjeni da li od ovakvih jako, ajmo reći, samo sumnjivih ljudi ili sotone u prijevodu ili takvih stvari. Tako da ovaj čovjek je, blago rečeno, zao čovjek koji u šaci drži pola te glazbene satanističke industrije i sad ćemo vidjeti da li će dolijati, šta će se dešavati dalje. Tako da eto, stavite jedan like i idemo vidjeti šta se dešava u novom Fakatu. Izgleda da se polako steže obruč oko stvari o kojima pričamo posljednjih tjedana. Evo, nevjerojatno, ali kao da nas je neko čuo i polako se ukazuju stvari i ljudi koji su se bavili strašnim stvarima poput seksualne trgovine, podvođenja djece, žena, nebitno i takvih drugih stvari, polako dolaze, dakle, na red. Policija je upala u dom jednog od najozloglašenijih menadžera u muzici, u toj, znamo, satanističkoj industriji, zapravo, koja se uopće ne skriva od takvih simbola, od takve simbolike, repera P. Diddyja. Dakle, policija je upala upravo u njegov dom. Ovaj čovjek je inače, ako ne pratite, osuđen za mnoge navodne radnje koje mu nisu nikad dokazane, ali većina ljudi u tom biznisu zna o kojim stvarima je riječ. Puno puta ga je prozivao i onaj reper 50 Cent da osim toga što je podvodio te žene i u principu je na čelu navodno tog cijelog lanca trgovine ljudima, djecom i ženama, da je također i još to i gej. Znači da to sve radi sa muškarcima. Dakle, čovjek je ne da je Lucifer, nego je teški sotona. I sad nevjerojatno policija je upala u njegovu kuću. Pustit ću vam i video da vidite o čemu se tu zapravo radi, ali polako, ali sigurno se izgleda prikazuju te stvari i istina dolazi na video. Nevjerojatna koincidencija je da smo upravo pričali baš o takvim stvarima u posljednje vrijeme, počevši od Ryana Garcije, onog mladog boksača, pa preko Andrew Tate za koje mnogi od vas ga ne priznajete, da je ovakav, da je onakav, da je, ne znam, da je on njihov igrač pod navodnike, ali ne bi se tim baš složio. Mislim, cijenim svako mišljenje. Međutim, dobro je da bilo ko prokazuje, da bilo ko govori o takvim stvarima. Uopće, na kraju, mislim, bitno je tko, ali nije bitno zato što se premalo o takvim stvarima govori. I evo, policija je upala u kuću P. Diddyja, kažem, taj čovjek, osim što je optužen za ove grozote, je također, ispod radara se zna otprilike da je odgovoran za ubojstvo jednog od najvećih tih proroka i pozitivnih ličnosti u povijesti glazbe, Tupac Shakura, koji je snažno propovijedao, osim što je propovijedao vjeru Isusa i tako dalje, propovijedao, znači, ajmo reći da je pjevao o dobrim stvarima, pjevao je o pozitivnim stvarima, o nekim normalnim svakodnevnim stvarima i problemima u društvu i nije pjevao o tim, ne znam, satanističkim stvarima, samo o, ne znam, seksu, drogi i takvim stvarima i novcima. Dakle, njega se također smatra da je jedan od suučesnika uz onog Huge Nighta upravo na smrt Tupaka, o kojem se može snimiti 100 videa i napisati 100 knjiga. Jer je čovjek stvarno bio što se kaže profet, bio je jednostavno čovjek van vremena koji je govorio mnogo stvari koje se dan danas događaju. Tako da je, kažem, i vojska i policija su upali u tu kuću i traže, sad pitanje je šta traže, pitanje je tko stoji iza ovog i šta traže u toj kući. Neke teorije govore o tome da su u toj kući čak zarobljeni neki ljudi, jer taj čovjek je jedan od najbogatijih tih glazbenih mogula, tih glazbenih tajkuna. Sad ko zna koliko on još tih kuća ima, koliko on u biti šta sve skriva, da li skriva uopće neke stvari, da li skriva neke možda ljude u toj kući i neke, ne znam, dokumente, videozapise i tako dalje. Uglavnom, malo, ajmo reći, pozitivnih vijesti, da je ipak, izgleda da se lagano steže obruč oko ovog čovjeka i vidjet ćemo šta će se dešavati sa njim. Jedno je sigurno da on definitivno, ne da se zna za njega da je radio sve te stvari, nego čak izašli su i mnogi svjedoci, ta njegova i, ne znam, ljubavnica zbog koje je navodno ostavio je ženu, da je podvodio, da je ne znam šta zlostavljao i tako dalje, ali ne samo to, nego čak i ovi neki pjevači u Americi, to je sve sotonizam, znam, ali tipa, ne znam, Justin Bieber i takve neki likovi. Naravno, sad ćete tu napisati da za njih boli briga. Mene isto boli briga za te ljude, ali to su neke bitne stvari, jer pomoću tih stvari se komuniciraju neke pozitivne stvari, da ipak se može stati na kraj tim ljudima, da ipak se može stati na kraj i ajmo reći, izvesti istinu na vidjelo. Tako da, pustit ću vam šta je sve live u showu u Americi. Dakle, napravili su cijeli show, upala je vojska i policija u kuću. Pustit ću vam šta su do sad izrecitirali ti američki mediji. Ono što je zanimljivo za njega je još da je on kao bio neki, ako pogledate sve one showove u Americi, te Jimmy Kimmel, onaj Leno i tak dalje, Jay Leno i takve šovi koji su i prije bili, uvijek su nekako prikazivali te zvijezde kao da su nekakvi primjeri, da se svi moraju ugledati na njih, i onda naravno imate situaciju gdje je masu mladih ljudi, gdje je masu općenito ljudi, ne samo mladih, jednostavno se takvi ljudi budu uzori i oni se ugledaju na njih. Što naravno onda nakon toga imate cijelu sliku narušenih sustava moralnih vrijednosti koja se teško može popraviti i koja traje desetljećima, a koja je pokrenuta sa raznim upravo takvim trendovima, ne znam, protokolima u smislu upravo ovakvih ljudi koji su to širili kroz muziku koja je možda najveći medij među mladim ljudima, koja se jednostavno neprekidno širi još više u današnje vrijeme i kroz te društvene mreže i ostale stvari. Tako da zaista imamo, kažem opet, nenadani razvoj situacije, ali eto, vidjet ćemo kako će se ovo odviti i da li će se išta desiti po pitanju privođenja ovog. A kažem, bar meni, ono što je najzanimljivije u cijeloj ovoj priči, ono što je zapravo najzanimljivije i u tom cijelom svijetu te uvrnute industrije, te zabavne industrije i glazbene, je to da moraš kao potpisati ugovor sa đavlom, tako, da bi uspio u tom poslu. Pa upravo ovaj čovjek je bio đavao, upravo je on zapravo potpisivao te nove glazbenike, te nove repere, i upravo na način da su oni morali za njega raditi te eksplicitne usluge, tako, intimne i tako dalje. Tako da, stvarno će im biti drago ako ovaj čovjek padne i ako ga uhite. Vidim da je neka najnovija vijest da su mu uhitili sinove i nekakvu njegovu poslugu. Sad, da li će doći do njega, kažem, da li će skupiti dovoljan broj dokaza, sad je to pitanje. Evo, pogledajte još samo kako su to prenijeli live, uživo, kako izgleda ta racija i prepad tih saveznih agenata FBI-a na 2 posjeda ovog glazbenika, vezano za istragu trgovine ljudima u svrhu seksualne eksploatacije. Pogledajte šta prenose mediji i kako je to izgledalo.
Home home in Los Angeles has been raided by Homeland Security. Of course, we're learning more information. I do want to take you back out here before we get out to our Fox 11 team in their coverage, because some of this video is very dramatic and we don't know a ton of information right now about this here on Live Now from Fox. Of course, breaking news of this, as you can see, potentially law enforcement officials and other officials just outside of a gate, this on a street near the Beverly Hills area. Of course, we're following it very closely on Live Now from Fox. And of course, we were watching this. We didn't know exactly what we were seeing at the time. So this is just a little bit ago as you can see a crowbar to get through this gate initially as well. The long guns and a multitude of people. As you'll see, they'll zoom out a little bit just to see the amount of force they are using to get inside this home. And of course, the complex in which this home sits is a very expansive one for the American rapper and producer. You can see them checking inside of a vehicle. We don't know exactly what is involved, if Diddy's even there. We don't know a ton of information about this at all, but this was dramatic video coming in of the Los Angeles home there, raided by Homeland Security. Some of those images there on the backs of them. We also saw other images. I want to kind of quickly move to what else we saw as people were led away, potentially in custody. Don't know who these individuals are, if they're related to Diddy in any way, but you can see them, a dramatic video from our Sky Fox team there in Los Angeles as we continue to cover this. And our Fox 11 team is there on the ground right now as we speak. Let's take you out to some of their coverage here as we follow this developing story out of Los Angeles.
And then detain those 3 people inside. We haven't seen any signs of P. Diddy himself. Again, we're hearing that he is possibly in New York, but several people inside the home that will surely be questioned. Very chaotic scene when all of this happened. Lots of neighbors wondering what's going on, of course, and we'll keep you updated. But it's definitely going to be quite a scene here for the remainder of the day.
Yeah, when you see this number of law enforcement agencies coming together, making this type of raid to such a big, high-profile mansion like this, in a neighborhood like this as well, this is very thought out, methodical, planned out for days. So they base this on a number of information gathering that they've received and evidence or what they're looking for. So clearly, this is not something they do lightly. They really go through the process of making sure that everything is ready before they conduct a raid like this. So yes, this took a lot of planning for all these multiple agencies to come together to actually now conduct a type of raid like this, as you're seeing right now with this street also shut down for the time being, because Haley, you could see the perimeter has been set up in that neighborhood to keep just the public back from the work that's being done. And there you have the shot from Sky Fox. Again, these heavily armed vehicles right next to all those luxury cars. You already see a Porsche, a G-Wagon, so many luxury cars right there on that property. So it is a very differing juxtaposition there of what you're seeing. But Hills, where the raid is taking place, again, we don't know what exactly they're looking for, who they're looking for, but again, this could possibly be linked to a sex trafficking investigation involving rapper Sean Combs, the music executive. But as you heard from Haley right there, she believes, and she's been hearing, that we do not think that Sean Combs is on that property at home right now. He may be in New York as this raid is being conducted. But we do know from our reporting that over the course of the year already, just as early as March this year, there have been several lawsuits filed against Sean Combs. So clearly this could be part of it. We are not sure at this point. But again, Stu, if you could hear me, what are you seeing right now in terms of your point of view?
Well, again, we saw some of those officers right there at that one of the back houses. They did bring a ladder in. They actually went out and brought that ladder into that property. You see it right there, and then they brought another ladder. So there's probably something inside this building right here that they are very curious about, or they were, like you said, it was very well planned. They knew they were going to need that ladder to make access. So there is something inside this piece of property in the back, as one of the back houses, that they have been very interested in getting at. We haven't seen them bring anything out. At one point, I can say, and when I keep saying that we didn't see them bring anything out, we did see them bring out what looked like, this is that front area that you were just talking about moments ago. We watched as those Bearcats made their way up Mapleton to actually do this raid, and then we watched as officers were getting through one of the pedestrian gates over here on this side of the property. Once they had breached that, well, then they opened those gates up right there, and those armored vehicles rolled in. They were very quick in whatever they needed to do to seize that home. That garage door went up very quickly, and it doesn't seem to be actually a garage inside there. We've been trying to peek in with the camera every now and then. It looks like there's a large table inside there, so that might have been an office area or some sort of staging area, and that's where we believe that most of the people that we see in custody came from. At least that's where we watched them exit this building with the officers early on when this raid was just starting. As it stands right now, you've got plenty of these armored law enforcement still walking the property. You see them walking in pairs. A lot less of those weapons out, so they are less on the defensive as it would be. And you can see them just kind of making their way through that property. But I can tell you, every home that's on here, meaning there's 3 major homes. This one right here, there's a couple of officers still inside there. We know at least one officer is still inside here. So they're still standing guard. So that whatever it is that they're doing, this isn't over by any means, and I think this is probably just getting underway. They just want to make sure that all these buildings are secure, and if there is anybody on this property, that they are in custody before they actually start whatever it is that they're looking for. But again, as you mentioned, very well planned, very quickly executed, and of course a number of officers out here. I couldn't even venture to say how many of these armored officers that are on the property. You can see them right there, and this is just a small group. That was also one of the things. As soon as they made their way into that pedestrian gate, the first thing they did was open up all those doors on that Range Rover and then made their way into this portion of the home. And that's that garage that we've been talking about. That garage door went up very quickly, and of all the people that we've seen come out of the building, that's where they all came from. They walked them out, put them in this little corner right here, and that's where they've been questioning them ever since.
Another ladder, as you were mentioning, a couple of ladders on site as part of this raid. I don't know what they're looking for or where they're trying to reach, but yeah, we did see somebody carrying a ladder, the second one on the property right now. It does seem like there are 3 different buildings on this property, the main mansion, and then 2 guest houses, for lack of better knowledge. Raid to begin with, but again, this could possibly be involving the sex trafficking investigation. And again, when we get more details, of course, we'll bring it to you. But this is going to be a while. You see the Department of Homeland Security officers right there in that Bearcat. You know, this could be phase 2 of what to do now, what they're searching for, and making sure they have all their information they need when they conduct a raid like this and go through the process of going through that property. It is a big mansion indeed, owned by Bad Boy Films and one of Sean Combs's children. So again, this happening just about 20 minutes ago at this point. We do have video from earlier, if we could show you that, and we have been showing some of that to you in a bigger box. As a juxtaposed to the live pictures you're seeing right now, but very methodical, and they did have many different law enforcement officials here as a unified operation, and a lot of them making sure that those entry points are secure and they're able to make entry all together with very, very little use of force. So clearly it is a process whenever you conduct a raid like this. So again, we do have Haley Winslow on the ground as well. She is pushed back to a certain perimeter though, so they're very differing vantage points that we can see. But if we do look at the ground shot there, you see law enforcement on the ground there as well. Haley, anything changing where you're at right now?
Just a lot more people showing up on scene. It's been pretty hectic out here. Yeah, this all unfolded about 25 minutes. Hear me clearly earlier. It's very loud, especially we've got, of course, Sky Fox showing you all of this from overhead. But basically, it all started about 25 minutes ago. 30 or so law enforcement